intel, recon, with a foot. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Yes, bestie, we've got the skullduggeress to speak about again, darling dears. It is what it is. They tried to keep us out the mud, darling dears. They tried to keep us out the mud, but they didn't know. But then when they go low, we go lower. What do you mean? No one's being pushed around here. No, and no again. Let me bring up the chat. Hi, Case 1717. Glad to see you. Real eyes recognize real lies. Big cat wave. Just give it a hot minute for anyone to turn up so we can press on with what's going on. All right. Yes, baby. They thought they could keep us out the dust. When they go low, we go lower. We take them straight to hell. What? Order in the court. Right. Let's press on at a hot trot, darling dears. Let's turn down the music so you can hear every little word. Oh, and the wickedest thing, I didn't even realize that there was a runestone in here. It was there for a reason, darling dears. This is Jera, represented by the Wheel of Fortune, darling dears. Yes, baby. I love it. I don't hate it. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy, darling dears. So it speaks about travel. It also speaks about luck. Luck is on your side, darling dears. Somebody wanted to what? Walk in and walk up and down in all of your hope, all of your happiness, darling dears. They wanted you on the rocks of life. Imagine that. Listen, oi, don't make me laugh, bestie, because you know I won't stop. All this and that, darling dears. The Wheel of Fortune also speaks about this person or people took you through some kind of a cycle. Well, guess what? Timing is afoot, darling dears. Whatever they did, it's coming to the culmination. 1 year from backwards, we're talking about what happened 1 year ago today, darling dears. Okay? Good. All right. Something to do with your hips and your thighs at this moment in time, darling dears. Jupiter also rules your liver, your pituitary gland and cell nutrition, darling dears. So take better care of yourself, darling dears, because somebody wants you to be brown bread, darling dears, pushing up daisies so they can come to your funeral and sing what? Amazing Grace in a falsetto. Hold on a minute, this thing keeps going off. Let me put it on a different music. This one is so serious. Yeah. All right, this is Jera, but we will get back to this in a moment, darling dears. Why? Because we have the energy of an 8, darling dears. The energy of the 8, we are in a year of the 8, darling dears. The energy of the 8, it speaks about debt, it speaks about karma, people getting what they truly deserve. But when we as a big cat see the 8, darling dears, it means the rebirth and the rise of us. Somebody tried to take away your happy bone, darling dears. Putting out all sorts of speculation on your good name. Imagine that. They gambled and they're about to lose. Why? Because I'm on their trail, darling dears. And nothing goes past my eye chakras, especially when I'm wearing my spectacles of truth. We have the energy of the 3. The 3 is because of the gossip, darling dears. They're talking about you. But the energy of the 3 also says there's going to be a lot of communication. Either you're making phone calls, making visits, darling. There's a lot of comings and goings for you over the next few days. Remember, I told you that, and it's going to be impronto. You're not expecting it, but you will have to, darling dears. It tells me that you are into higher learning. You've learned new things. Okay? Any form of grand transportation will be going fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. But remember, we will soon be in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. I've already put up the reading, darling dears. Yes, and how it's going to affect each individual sun, moon, and rising sign. Pay close attention, darling dears. The energy of the 3rd house also speaks about somebody's, because it speaks of teachers, but I keep getting the impression that somebody's trying to teach you a lesson. Are they trying to teach you a lesson with their absence? Because if they're doing it, they're doing fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Stay absent, darling dears. Stay absent. Third house can also speak about it being a family member, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, or even a younger sibling, darling dears. Or you could have a hater in your midst, darling dears. If you've got progeny, it's the youngest sibling. They're looking at you with slitty eyes, darling dears, but they didn't say anything. Why? Because you're a kid. Listen, if I've got to discipline my children, darling dears, I don't put my hands on them. Why would I? I pay for your phone, right? I give you money, right? If you upset me, your hair's gonna look like you're mud out, right? You won't get your hair done, darling dears. Listen, I control I run everything. What do you mean? So somebody's younger sibling, right, is the bane of everyone's life at this moment in time. Can it turn around? Anything can be turned around. Why? We have the energy of the 2, darling dears. It speaks about gifts and luck on your side, pertaining to a progeny, darling dears. We have the energy of the 5. The energy of the 5 tells me that they are threatened by your being, darling dears. You being here. Let them continue to be threatened. The energy of the 5 tells me that people feel threatened by whatever foundation you are creating for yourself, and vicariously, if you have not been protecting yourself the way I've been tasking you with protecting yourself, you're going to have an issue and a problem, darling dears. An issue and a problem, and not necessarily in that order. Okay, let's carry on. To make sure that I've covered everything before I move on. The energy of the 5 also speaks about it being the 5th house, darling dears. The 5th house is about your creativities. It reflects your innate need and desire for love and expression. Because the 5th house is also about love, it's about relationships, darling dears. Yes, it's about drama, but the 5th house is where that true love is, darling dears. The 8th house is more like lustful love, darling dears. Yes, it represents the marriage house, but listen, we was already in the 8th house. We're in the 5th. Stay with me, bestie. Stay with me. We have the energy of the 1. It speaks about you having to make a major decision. Don't make this major decision until after the next new moon. Normally, I will tell you when it is, darling dears, but I'm tasking you to find it yourself. You can go on places like astroseek.com and save it to your favorites, darling dears. The moon favors is, so you know what's going on. Okay? What else do we need to do before we press on? Right. What's going on with you at this moment in time, darling dears? The Wheel of Fortune tells me that it's fated. It's fated that you're going through at this moment in time. It's something that's unavoidable, but remember, luck is on your side. Rebirth is on your side. What they're trying to take you down with, darling dears, you should treat it like water off a duck's back. Why? This is your rebirth season. The energy of the 8, the energy of the 8, darling dears, the 8th house, which is Pluto energy, as well as Scorpio energy. It's fixed water energy, darling dears. It's the regeneration of you. You're also going to be hearing of someone passing, darling dears. Something to do with wounds. Possibly wounds that they inflicted on themselves, or somebody inflicting those wounds on them, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. Okay. The 8th house is also about inheritances. Taxes. It can also represent what's the other thing? Retirement. But I'm also getting the impression of it's some kind of child maintenance money comes to you through the 8th house, darling dears. Somebody's upset about child maintenance money, and it's possibly to do with the siblings, right? If they're upset about money that they got to pay you for the child that you have to support by yourself, listen, you know what I would do? I would take that child maintenance money and I'll treat it like it's coming to America. I'll go straight to TK Maxx and buy all these things that I don't need, darling dears. It'd be like coming to America, right? And the wickedest thing, I'll throw it away when I'm finished with it. How dare you? How dare you? And how dare you? This and that, darling dears. This and that. You see, they brought you to the point, darling dears, that we've got to start speaking in Latin. Yes, baby. Why? Because how they behave, darling dears, is pro forma, right? They want to bring it to rigor mortis, the stiffness of death, darling dears. Pro forma means it's a matter of fact. I told you we speak all languages here, darling dears, especially the France. When I say qu'est-ce, what the F did they mean? Because I tell you, I dare anyone, I task anyone who's trying to cross me, and I've got a hold of your charts, darling dears. And the wickedest thing that I found out from my charts, darling dears, I was looking at my Chinese signs because every so often I look at them, and then I don't know why I've never checked out my daughters. Where are they? My son, my favorite son, but he's the only one. Shh! Don't tell him. He doesn't know. Shh! Right? He is he's a sheep. He's a earth sheep. I'm a fire sheep, right? And my two daughters, my oldest one and my youngest one, they're both oxes, darling dears. My enemy sign. Listen. I don't know what kind of cosmic joke was being played on me at that time, darling dears, because it's a lesson in patience. Otherwise, it would be throat kicks being dealt out on a daily basis. Trust and believe. Ooh. Ooh. The energy of the 8, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. Because the energy of the 8, it's representative of your wisdom, darling dears. It also speaks about the self-actualization of you, darling dears. Divine is also telling you to take a pause. It's wanting to tell you to take a rest, darling dears, but take a pause before you react on a situation. The energy of the 8 also comes with karma attached to it, darling dears. Remember I told you that. All right. I'm trying to see who's here. Elizabeth M. How are you, darling dears? Haven't seen you for a while. Are you fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely? I see Beatrice. B. Are you fabulous? Betty Crown. Or do you mean Batty Crown? I know exactly what a Batty Crown is, darling dears. You'll have to explain it to the other people in the chat because I must press on. I must. Yeah. Whoever is coming up against you, darling dears, you're going to be put into a position where you have to remember what I say to you, darling dears. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. Some of you are thinking, how can that be? I'm not in anything. Listen, you're going to be put in a position, darling dears. This is the Wheel of Fortune. You've got fate, destiny, and good luck on the table, darling dears, where you're going to have to remember their enemy is your friend. Okay, whether it's in a working situation, it could be with neighborhood, because the 3rd house also represents your neighbors, darling dears. A neighbor trying to what? Sock it to you without the Vaseline, and we don't like that, do we, bestie? No, we don't. Let's carry on. Let's see. The one I wanted to get. Right, look. Whatever they're doing to you, darling dears, they won't succeed, but you have to remember you are more than a conqueror. As I said to you before, sometimes you need to walk around your house with the dragon's blood, or your sage. And when you're walking around your house, getting all of these negative energies out, if you've got a back door, you open the back door, or you open the window that's at the furthest part of your house for that sneaky energy to come out. When you're walking around your house with your sage or whatever it is you're burning, you don't go around and say, please leave. No! You have to remember you're a sentient being. You have to claim yourself as a sentient being. And all negativity has to leave. And you have to walk the energy out. You got to put some bass in your voice, darling dears. And I don't care so what if your neighbors can hear you? They should know that you're not one to F with. Because if you're cussing at the wind, what will you do to them? Oh my God, I've got to take off a layer, darling. I told you. Oh my God. This menopause ain't easy. It's not for the faint-hearted, darling dears. It's not. I'm lucky that I don't have to take out my left foot and my pinky toes, because if I've got to take that out, we've got to end the reading now, right? I need time by myself to collect myself and get out of the heat. Hold on a minute. All right. Okay, let's see. What are they dealing with, darling dears? Remember, the enemy of your enemy will be your friend. Somebody's been burning the candles for you, darling dears. They want you to fail. Some people are so... Why don't they just get on? They won't. They won't, darling dears. They will never leave you alone. They will always attack you. Why? Because you're a chosen, darling dears. And as a chosen one, you go through the hardest battles. I know, darling dears, it's not nice. I said to God, please don't make me be the strongest soldier this year. Please! I've said it many times. I don't want to be the strongest soldier. But then again, none of us have a volunteer, darling dears. We've got no one to work on our behalf, have we? There's no one that's going to take it for us without the Vaseline. Slim Jim, Big Cat Wave. I see you, darling dears. I see Paris December. And who's that? Kimar Robinson. Long time. Are you good? Okay, let's see. I know you've been wondering where I've been, but I told you I had a stroke, darlings, and sometimes I get so tired that I've just got to lay down, right? The High Priestess, listen, you know what's going on, darlings, and you know who's coming at you with this attack. And you must also remember, right? The enemy of your enemy is your friend. High Priestess energy, darlings, you could be a female, or you could be in your feminine energy. It tells me heavy is the head that wears the crown, darlings, but the High Priestess speaks about the mysticism about you. There's a mystery around you, darlings, something that they can't penetrate. Look at the weapons they're trying to form against you. And it could be as many as 4 people, darling dears. And we already saw the elastic band took its own self off, darling dears. Whatever they're flinging your way, you will overcome it. Remember, I told you that. There's an X. They could even be attacking you on Twitter, darling dears, on X. Remember, I told you. It could also represent an ex-partner, darling dears. It's always the exes coming back with an axe to grind. And the wickedest thing, if you break up with someone, darling dears, and you move on with your life, you never look back, you're happy with your life and you're building yourself up, they hate you for it. And if you are stuck in the same position you was in when you drop them off, darling dears, they'll hate you for that. You can't win. So you might as well win, darling. Just like I said, you might as well win. Fertility, somebody's having an issue with a fertility problem, darling dears, because of all of the magic they're trying to put on other people. You can't get pregnant under that. The High Priestess also speaks about somebody trying to get pregnant at this moment in time, possibly to keep a relationship. Yes, they're keeping it hush hush, darling dears. Hush hush. Imagine that, bestie. Imagine that. I feel inclined to use the black cards. Haven't used these often. Okay. Tell me something more about this situation before we dive right in. Oh, you may have to take it to a legal situation, darling dears, to back them off, darling dears. It could also speak about you having gone for a legal situation with this person, where you had to use your throat chakra and speak up for yourself, right? What's this? Karma is on them. It came out in the reverse, so you're getting some form of good dharma, darling dears. That's good karma, dharma, right? And this person is a fool. They're a trickster, right? A cut purse. Somebody who takes advantage of every situation. The magician is Mercury energy, darling dears. And Mercury rules Virgo as well as Gemini energy. So Gemini, 3rd house, is out here. And we've got the 6th house. Somebody's also wishing on your health, darling dears. They want your health to go down. So they may even be aware that you have some kind of illness, or they want it to get worse for you. Remember, I told you that. Magician in the reverse is not someone who's above any form of magic. We saw the candles peek its eye out just then. Let's go to the 2nd deck. You had to speak your truth in a situation, darling dears. This person is a hoodwinker and a con person, right? And they're from the backwoods and they've got yarn for hair. How about that? Oh, it fell on my lap. Yeah, your 3rd eye, darling, is on. You know who this person is. When you get into that situation, whatever the situation, as I said, somebody's going to be wounding themselves. They're going to be unaliving themselves. Okay? You may even meet this person at a burial. The 8th house is about death, darling, deceased, legacies. You're going to see this person. Remember, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. So if you have to go to a funeral or you have to be in this person's presence, remember, their enemy is in the room too, darling dears. That's who you go and gang up with. I'm not saying that you need to be part of a gang, but good golly and gosh, darling dears. Really? Really? Yeah. Because it's about you detoxing yourself from this situation. What's this? Yeah, your wants over your needs. So you was going for your... You're going for your wants, darling. There's no longer putting your needs first. And whatever they're sending to you, returning it straight to sender. Because I told you we don't do with the spiritual ping pong. The backwards and forwards. No, blood. There's not enough hours in a day for that, darling dears. This is what another thing I'm going to tell you again. Bestie, mirrors are portals. If your bed is in front of a mirror and you can't move it, make sure you cover that mirror at night time. Okay? Make sure it's covered. Very important. Get yourself some black tourmaline or obsidian, black obsidian, and put it next to the mirror. Okay? Another reason why I say that, because when I put my bedroom set together, darling, me like a fool. My name was Cluffy, Rasclar idiot. Oh, let me put my bed in front of the mirror. Who told me to do that? I didn't have a good night's sleep, and I was being attacked in the night, darling dears. But the wickedest thing, whenever this attack came on me, darling dears, I always said to myself, because it's like I'm aware, and I would say, I lock and I bind you, right? Who told me to do that? No, don't lock and bind it. You can lock and bind it, but you must also release it with a love and light to the Most High Father, God, Mother Isis. That thing came back and it terrified me and terrorized me, darling. I was terrorized, right? So then, one night, I was laying, I said, I can't stand another night. And I called the progeny and I told him to move my bed. We moved my bed and everything. But my whole bedroom is glass, darling dears. So the dressing table, even though it doesn't face my bed, right? If you stand in front of the dressing table, you can see me laying on the bed, waiting to be attacked again, darling dears. I was a sitting duck. I was. Ooh, child. And this particular time, darling dears, I was in a room. Okay, I was in a room. I don't know whose room it was, but I was speaking to someone on the bed. I couldn't see their face. I didn't know who it was, right? And this it was like an energy that came in. It was like, you know, like when you see those dementors and they're always shaking their head, they're shaking their head. It came in, darling dears, and it was trying to get me on the bed. But what I did before because its hand was like this, like it was coming to get me, right? I said, I lock and bind you and I release you to the Most High, right? Because my bed was still being highlighted by the mirror, even though the mirror was not in front of my bed. Listen to me, bestie. Protect yourself. You have to remember, so many things have happened in front of the mirror. Yes, sometimes people are there because of joy. Some are crying. Some are wishing wickedness on you because they can't do nothing to you physically. And they don't have to write it down and go to Google Spell, even though they do go to Google Spell. They can send you energies through that mirror. Protect yourself, darling dears, please. Especially as what? Pluto's going into Aquarius. I keep telling you, bestie. Oh, hold on a minute. Just a second. Let me see who this is. Just a second. Sorry about that, bestie. What was I just saying? Yes, Pluto's going into Aquarius, darling dears, at 8:35. Okay, 8:35 p.m. I'm going by Greenwich Mean Time in the UK, darling dears. 8:35 p.m. on the 19th of November 2024. Okay. According to your rising sign, for you, for Aries, it's going to be in your 11th house. So it's about your social circles and future goals. For Taurus, it's the 10th house. So it's going to be about your career and your achievements, darling dears. Listen, some of you that have Taurus rising, you're about to step into a season of fame for the next 20 years. Okay? Okay. Gemini rising, it's your 9th house for your higher wisdom and philosophy. Gemini rising, let me tell you something. Even though it's philosophy, it's about travel, you have to learn astrology. I know you've got 20 years to learn it, darling dears, but you need to learn astrology because there's something there you need to find out on your own. You understand? Okay. For Cancer rising, it's your 8th house, so it's going to be about your personal transformation, shared assets. For Leo rising, it's the 7th house. It's going to be your partnerships and your one-to-one relationships. Who else is it? What did I say? Virgo rising, the 6th house, will be about your daily routines. For your daily routines and your health. For Libra rising, it's your 5th house. It's about creativity and self-expression. For Scorpio rising, it's the 4th house. It's about your home and your family dynamics. It's also about things that happen to you in your early experience of life, darling dears. Okay? And remember, the 4th house, you're going to have a lot of people coming at you, in competition with you over the next 20 years. So forewarned is forearmed. Okay, for Sagittarius, it's going to be about your 3rd house, communication, your local ties. For Oh, who else? Capricorn. It's going to be your second house, darling. Capricorn! Capricorns, hear ye, hear ye. You're in the Skrilla. You're going to be making some serious bank over the next 20 years. Okay, Aquarius, it's going to be the first house. It's about your self-perception and your identity. So you're going to be changing the way you look, where you live, darling dears. It's about you making a fresh start. Fresh start could also be liberating yourself from your family. Be very careful because you're going to be accident prone over the next 20 years. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, it's come on case, the 12th house. So it's about your spirituality and your inner growth, darling dears. And it's also about you, the 12th house is also about family, darling dears. Family secrets. These kind of things are going to be coming up. But as the holder who has the Pisces rising, darling dears, you're going to be breaking out these secrets. You're going to be busting out the secrets on the people that are trying to keep things secret, hidden. You're going to be busting it out on them, darling dears. Why? Because you're going to be tasked with it. If you don't do what you are being tasked with to do, darling dears, you have to remember 12th house is also what mental health is on the table. Okay? Okay, I try to help you in every single way. I give you as much tools. Why? Because the hoodwinkers are out there, darling dears. They're out there. And remember what I said. The enemy of your enemy is your friend going forward. Okay? These are birds that flew too fast past their nest. Remember I told you that. Right. Let's get a deck. Dive right in. Because these... I'm going to use this one. I haven't used it for ages. Give it a good shufty. Yeah. Make sure when you return that energy to sender, you lock and bind it, darling dears, and you release it with love and light to the Most High Father, God, Mother, Isis. Don't play the spiritual ping pong, darling dears. It's not fabulous. Yes. Whatever they're forming against you, yes, it's going to fail, darling dears, but you still have to protect yourself. Always protect yourself. Nobody cares more about you than you. Am I got this the right way? Yeah. Okay, let's get this reading on track. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. Yeah, because somebody really doesn't like you, darling dears. Whatever you're doing in your life, you make them sick to their stomach. It's not even stomach, it's stomach. All of this and that, darling dears. All of this and that. 9 of Cups on its forehead, darling dears. On its forehead. This person is a thrill seeker. Well, they took a thrill in your life, darling dears. If you was the love situation with this person, 9 of Cups on his forehead, this person was foolish in love and you are separated from him. Thank God. This also speaks about somebody who is an emotional drain on you, darling dears. They're going through misery. They're extremely unhappy. Some of them have all what? Eating disorders. They won't put the chicken down, eh? That's their business. They'll end up with a stroke. Ooh, yeah, all of this and that. But somebody hates you, darling dears. They hate you with a passion because of what you're doing in your life. 3 of Pentacles. It tells me that you're not even on the same level. This is also my marriage card, but it also speaks about you being recognized for whatever it is you got going on. It could be for your study. You could have a business, darling dears. Pentacles represent online. You could be doing well with the cryptocurrencies. Whatever you've got going on, darling dears, it too shall succeed. The energy of the 3 tells me that you're being put in a position where you're going to be able to express yourself authentically. Remember, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. And when 2 or more people gather, you know God is present, darling dears. Remember what I said. They're going to try and test your... Oh, this one didn't want to come up, darling dears. Yeah, you've definitely ended the situation, world card. On its forehead, darling dears. On its forehead. Definitely overindulgence. And it also speaks about funds, darling dears. Somebody's overindulged in their funds. They haven't got the money like they used to, or they never had it, darlings. Maybe you was the light. Because when these people are around us, the chosen ones, darling dears, everything goes up for them. Their money gets good. They start looking better looking, darling dears. They start believing their own hype. Don't believe the hype. They didn't believe that, darling dears. They believed the hype. They didn't realize that it was your energy. So if it was a person that cheated on you, they was dating other people, but they was dating them with what you taught them. Yeah, when you met these Neanderthals, weren't they digging in the dust, darling dears? Didn't know their ass from... Okay, let it go, case. Okay, I'll let it go. Base of the deck, darling dears. Yes. Best E. Look at this shiznai. E. This person's, if it was a relationship, darling dears, they treated your relationship like it was listen, it was a platonic relationship, right? Except for when they was in the house with you, where they was what? Tormenting you, darling dears. Tormented you. Seven of Cups in the reverse also speaks about the illusions around the situation, darling dears. It speaks about overindulgence. So you could have overindulged when you was around them. Drugs, alcohol, food, whatever it was, darling dears. This person has brought about some kind of a separation. And lean in, bestie. Guess what the Seven of Cups also means? Can you guess? Because I want you to learn the tarot. I'm going to start putting out big cat tarot tips with certain things that people don't understand, certain nuances. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start putting them out because you can do it for like 1 minute or 3 minutes because they've expanded it now. Okay? This person is trying to give you health issues because they have a lot of anger towards you. Okay? Never forget this Seven of Cups on its face. If you get this in the reading, they're trying to put health issues onto you, darling dears, because of the anger they still hold for you. They haven't forgotten. Tell me something more about this Five of Cups. All of this emotional energy. Whoever this person is, darling dears, they're for the streets. They can't do nothing on their own. They need someone to make one of them, darling dears. And you need no one but yourself. Once you can rely on yourself, you're the baddest one on the field. Remember I told you that. Once you can rely on your own self. The Seven of Pentacles. Did I say seven? Freudian slip. Meant to come out, darling dears. Seven of Pentacles means that you're making the right investments. You're waiting for the right people to come around you. It's telling me the fruits of your labor, are not going for naught. Why? Because you got the Wheel of Fortune, baby. You are blessed and highly favored. You have the energy of the 8. The rebirth, darling dears. Don't watch about the bit in the middle where you was crack on crazy and barking at passing cars. No, we're talking about rebirth. Okay, base of the deck, darling dears, King of Wands. It tells me that you're a natural born leader, darling dears, futuristic thinking. And whether it's a king or a queen, it's telling me that you are highly intuitive, darling dears. This is also a fated destination, a fated meeting. I nearly said destination. Freudian slip, meant to come out. You're going to be traveling and you're going to meet this person, darling dears. Whether you're traveling for business, whether you're traveling for pleasure. Listen, allow my tongue, yeah? Yeah. You're going to be meeting this person, darling dears, while you are traveling. The King of Wands also represents movement, quick, swift movement. Okay, so look out for this person. Why? This is the enemy of your enemy, darling dears. This is the person that's going to be what? In cahoots with you, darling dears. What did I just say? A situation that you've just left. The Cups, darling dears. You had to leave because of the trauma and the drama. Trauma and drama is not good. Because let me tell you something. Even after you've come out of these negative situations, this is why I tell you, bestie, don't re-friend, right? Anyone. Don't re-co-worker them, don't re-family them, don't re-nothing with them, re-nothing, right? They gave you a reverse friar tuck. They didn't care about your hairline or your edges. They didn't, right? You had to leave this situation, darling dears, because of the trauma and the drama that was on you. But you're going to meet this person, right? This person, you're going to meet them. Okay, let me see, can I remember the timing, because sometimes it's here and sometimes it's not. The 8 of Cups, darling dears, is oh gosh, hold on a minute, I'm just thinking. So it's Scorpio energy, darling dears. Okay, Scorpio is, oh my god, Scorpio is the death card, the 8th house, darling dears. And the Scorpio energy tells me that you're going to see this person, or the timing is going to be around the 23rd of October till the 21st of December. That's the timing of the Scorpio energy, right? I had to get my brain back in gear then. So you're about to meet this person, darling dears. Remember, this person is going to be your biggest friend. Why? You're going to be amongst enemies, darling dears. You're going to be amongst enemies. Yes, you can normally take it, but you're going to be forced to be put in this situation, darling dears. It could be someone that's unalived themselves. Remember I told you that. Wounds. Base of the deck. Yeah. Let them talk, darling dears. Let them talk. Let them chop it up. But the more they speak on your name, darling dears, the better you're getting. The 10 of Swords also speaks about you overcoming a situation. Why? You have to go within. The King of Swords don't just go out there chatting off his mouth. The King of Swords is not the type of, you see, like if you break up with a friendship, darling dears, or break up with a partner, you're not the type of person to put yourself out there. You will go within, darling dears, look at yourself, and that's the best thing you can do. Be celibate in a situation, darling dears. The Sword speaks about being celibate in a situation. Why? Because then all of the energy is going towards your manifestations, darling dears. The King of Swords learns everything, darling dears, and Divine is telling you, tasking you with knowing everything, being aware of whom you're around. Okay? Yeah, look at the negativity. These people are not for you, darling dears. They don't like you. You've already cut them off, darling dears. But you're going to be forced into their presence. We've already gone past the 23rd of October, but we've still got the opening time up until the 21st of November. Okay? Right. We've got 2 kings on the tableau, darling dears. Whenever we've got 2 kings, lean in, bestie. The 2 kings speak about a good partnership, a good business partnership, and it also speaks about good advice. This person is going to tell you something, darling dears, which is going to be significant to you. Yeah? The King of Swords, you're going to be walking around with the King of Swords in your head, so you'll be able to discern that this person is telling you the truth. Why? They're going to be the enemy of your enemy. Remember, I told you that. Be on the alert. Base of the deck, darling dears. Yeah, this person that is going to be causing this trouble, they're not being protected by their ancestral team. They've got issues with money. They've got issues with their time management, issues with drugs, darling dears. All of the above, darling dears. And they're what? Very jealous of what you've achieved for yourself. 8 of Pentacles speaks about achievements, darling dears. Why? Because the devil's not welcome, darling dears. You had to turn your back on a lot of things, a lot of people to get exactly where you are right now. And remember, the devil is knocking at your door, wanting to interrupt what you've got going on. In this particular instance, darling dears, someone is coming forward and you must accept their help. You don't have to tell them that you're accepting their help, but you will listen. The way the King of Swords listens, he listens to everything, darling dears. Listen, the wisest person in the room is the quietest one. Remember, I told you that. Devil want to come knock at the door to take you out of your blessings, darling dears, because you've been determined. You've gone forward no matter what. And remember, we've been the strongest soldier for such a long time. We've put in our requests, but we don't have a volunteer. If you got a volunteer, send them round my house. I pay good Skrilla for that. Good Skrilla. Yeah. Because you know your worth, darling dears. You had to come and find that out by yourself. And the only way you can find that by yourself is what? Separating yourself from the crowd. Being focused on you, being focused on your bag. You may even be involved with your progeny. Whatever you've been focused on, darling dears, it's because of your worth. They want to take you down a peg or two. Okay. Let's get another dick involved. No weapon formed against you shall prosper in the name of the Most High. Remember, I told you that. Remember, bestie, I can't tell you this enough. The enemy of your enemy is your... Look, the cards aren't even going together. They're coming to cause controversy in your life, darling dears. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. If they would... Look at all of these cards come out. That's disrespectful, isn't it, bestie? It's disrespectful. So many cards. I will take the top one, which is the 5 of Cups. This is where they want you to be back, darling dears. Worried about what they've got going on. But remember, Divine is shining the light of what the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups is what you're seeking is seeking you. But you have to what? Get yourself out of whatever funk you might find yourself in at this moment in time. You're about to be blessed in a major way. Remember, I told you that. And blessings don't just necessarily come from Skrilla.com. Although we do like the Skrilla, we do. Right? Sometimes it's in the information. Remember, the King of Swords, the quietest one in the room, no things. Okay, this card, because they want to drag you back to hell, darling dears. Somebody wants you to be back in this hell with the trauma and the drama. Okay. The 8 of Cups, darling dears, on its forehead. Definitely, like I said, it was definitely a separation from the situation. This person is suffering from low self-esteem. They're gonna, when you see them again, darling dears, they're gonna be very clingy. They're gonna be on your every word. Okay, this is most definitely a toxic relationship, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, whatever it was. This is a ship that you must never join again, darling dears. You'll end up as a ghost ship. Remember, I told you that. right? Look, stand your ground, Scotty. And you have the magician in the upright. You've got the badass alchemist ways. Again, this is a reminder, protect yourself. And the magician, as I said, is Mercury energy, darling dears. And Mercury is about the Gemini energy. Like I said, you're gonna have a lot of communications coming in and out, okay? And your health, darling dears. I'd already told you they're attacking your health at this moment in time. And this, where's my shiznayin? Where is it? This lapis lazuli. Because my oldest daughter Kenya, she's traveled twice this year. The first time she went to Salem, right? Is it in Massachusetts? She went straight to Salem and she bought. While she was there, I said, "Take me in the shop." I was on the iPhone, right? And I picked out this lapis lazuli. Okay. When she came back from her holiday, she came over to me and she gave it to me. But it used to be in like, you know what, like one of those prisms to hold it in. Well, this was around my neck the day I had the stroke, because I don't take it off. I mean, I take it off to get in the bath, yeah, but I don't take it off. And I believe that it was the lapis lazuli that saved my words, because I'm telling you, when I woke up to that stroke, I couldn't even speak. When I spoke to my son, I was speaking gibberish. And then, you know, they tried to keep me, they kept me there overnight, and they wanted to transfer me to some other effing place. I didn't want to go. I didn't. I said I had to make the children know that they had to let me go home, right? I will heal myself from home, because when I got back home, I came into my office and I sat amongst my cards and I looked around at everything. And then something just told me to look at the screen speak. And that's how I learned to read again. It was no joke. I had this round my neck, my lapis lazuli. Make sure you get some of that, darling, just so that they don't block your words. We already saw the throat chakra, okay? Get your lapis lazuli. Whether you wear it around your neck or you want to have it in your bag or in your purse, you make sure you have it on you, darling dears, because they would like to block your words, because you will come with the fire. Remember, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Yeah, you've got the badass alchemist ways, darling dears, but protect yourself. Protect yourself. I can't always be there, darling dears. I can tell you what happened afterwards. I can even draw up a chart for you, but I can't be there. But fortunately for us, we're going into 2025, where AI is about to go off the chizayin, darling dears. Yeah, Six of Cups. Somebody from the past wants to refriend or re-co-worker you. All of this Cups energy, lots of emotions around the situation, because they feel as though you're doing better than them. Yeah, Pentacles. You have your own home, own car. It could also speak about you getting another business, darling dears. And as I said, we already saw the King of Wands and the High Priestess. You have a fated meeting coming towards you, and that is the person that is going to help you in that situation. Okay, split the deck. Hangman. They're going to show you a different perspective, but remember, be prepared to listen. Listen very carefully, darling dears. Okay. Yeah, Hangman. Hangman also speaks about a death, darling dears. Someone being released. In the reverse, this is someone saying that they're going to do things to themselves. This is someone being released. As I said, it's going to be someone that's wounded themselves, or they got some kind of a wound, why they ended up on what? Pushing up daisies, blood. Pushing up daisies. Okay, let's get one more card. Then we're out of here to get great. We're off to get great. Give it a good shufti. Protect yourselves, besties. Get yourself some lapis lazuli. Oracle 7100. You're good. Voyager 2, I see you. I see everything. Same with me, darling dears. It's not today, but usually when I wake up in the morning, all of the veins in my arms is standing up like I've just finished choking the shit out of someone. But I wasn't. I was sleeping. I was minding my own business. Listen, somebody's going to try and entrap you, darling dears. This is a mental entrapment, right? They want to be haunting you. They want to be a rat in your life. Well, we've got the 2 and the 9. The 2 and the 9 goes to an 11, okay? It tells me that you are a master healer. It tells me that you can adapt, but you have to listen to your intuition, darling dears. The person that is the enemy of your enemy, you will find this person, darling dears, and you will find them between now and, did I just say the 21st? Yes, I said the 21st of November, darling dears. Yeah. This is what they want, darling dears. They want you to be dodo dead, but you're also on the 10. The 10 is about rebirth, darling dears, resetting. And it also speaks about this meeting that you're going towards is fated. Yeah, new things going on for you. The 3 and a 6 goes to a 9, darling dears, and again it's speaking about the fate, the destiny that's going on at this moment in time. All forms of travel will go extremely well for you, maybe if you're traveling abroad. But in saying that, somebody wants you to go back to where you've already graduated, darling dears. If you've already graduated from there, don't let them take you there again. Be prepared to listen. I know sometimes you want to know, listen, darling dears, because you see more. And you won't be listening with just your ears, darling dears. You're listening with your third eye. So protect yourself. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Make sure you protect yourself, besties. Okay? I'll see you again on the flip side, darling dears. Big cat wave.